called Nonverbal Communications. And I'm with Marcia Martin. Hi.
Hi.
I just went to a lecture that Marcia Martin, that you gave, about how to address an audience, how to speak with an audience, and how to get the attention of the audience. And I just learned a real lot in a short amount of time about all the kinds of things I'm not doing right. Or that I didn't know about.
Do you love this guy?
Or
He's
that,
fabulous,
or that
he?
I could do better with. And that's why I feel really good, because you really understand a way to communicate with other people, so everybody felt comfortable. I felt that you said to look on one side in the back, and in the front, almost make a box, so you saw everybody, you included everybody into feeling part of your, so it's not even yours, it's our opportunity to share together. Yeah. It was nothing about like a lecture, it was nothing about you, Professor, we're talking about some subject. It was you telling everybody how they could feel good by sharing your, whatever you're talking about. It was very good.
Thanks. I was really excited to see you there. I've been really looking forward to coming to New York and seeing you in person. We've been hanging out on the phone for a while, so I'm glad you could get a little part of that particular lecture. No. I had to share a lot in a short amount of time, so I'm glad you thought it was valuable.
Well, it's very, very interesting. I like the way you put. I've learned a better way, I think, to address even the video audience. In other words, you said instead of putting the book in front of you on the stage, you sort of said talk in threes.
I said, like when you're doing visual aids in front of a group is what you're talking about, to use a triangle, and to have whatever the visual aid is as one part of the triangle, the audience is part of the triangle, and the speaker is part of the triangle, and to always keep that triangle in a triangle shape. But if you took, if the book was here, and the audience is there, and the speaker is here, that's a triangle. But if I had the book in front of me, the triangle is collapsed. And you do that with a flip chart. You do that with all of the audio-visual. It just makes it much more effective. For some reason, it works.
And you know what I think it also does? It reminds me actually of good communications. Because right now, you and I, in essence, are in a triangle. We are speaking, 1, 2, and then there's a camera. And there's a triangle. And then in many situations, this really is mano a mano, and then it's really not a... it's not a speech or not an involvement, and it's 1-to-1. But you know what?
It's a conversation.
It's a conversation. It's a personal two-people conversation. But when three, it's very important. Some people, when there's even a three-people conversation, they sometimes don't look at the third person. That's not so nice.
That's not nice. Well, I think some people, even though when there's two persons, they don't even look at the other person. They look at the floor, the ceiling. That's really scary.
It's nice to look at a person.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so you go way back. We'll look at here's the other person, the camera. And so what should we do? You think we should look, you said also a newscaster actually looks into the camera. Okay.
Well, that's not an interviewer, but a newscaster does look through the camera and visualizes a person on the other side of the camera so that it really has that connection. And what I was saying was for speakers who are speaking in large audiences, because there might be 2,000 people in the room, and sometimes you're lit in such a way that you can't even see the audience. So it's hard to make eye contact because you can't even see them. But you can pretend or visualize as if you're having a conversation with one person. And when you visualize that, it's like the anchor visualizing a person through the camera. You can have that vibration of vitality and connection. And what's really nice is then the audience feels like you're really talking with them, to one person, rather than just looking at a huge group of people.
And you also said something about be comfortable. In other words, move around a little bit, touch your props, and don't be afraid to sort of humanize yourself.
Yep. Well, I was talking at that point, remember how the body and the mind are separate, but they're actually influence each other. The body and mind are like two countries attached by a bridge over a big river. So whatever happens in the body influences the mind, and whatever happens in the mind influences the body. So if you have a conversation in your mind, it's a negative conversation, your body's going to do kind of droopy. Whereas if you have a conversation in your mind that's positive, your body will naturally follow it. And I was saying that, if you kind of come from your heart and allow your body to follow it naturally, that you'll have natural movement on stage.
Another thing you didn't say was that this is all going to empower you. You didn't. You're not wasting your time thinking about what it's going to do for you. You're spending your time on what it's going to do for everybody all involved.
Oh, thanks, Paul.
It's a very, I enjoyed it very much. I was enlightened by it. And so actually enlightening, and that's been in essence your history. Since we have had the chance to talk before,
Yes, we have.
you helped start the EST organization, correct?
Yes, I was one of the original founders of EST, which became Landmark, and was actually the one of the pioneers of the human potential movement, because back in those very, very long ago days.
Just a couple of weeks ago.
When I started, when I was only 10, human potential movement hadn't even been named. It started getting named after we started telling people about transformation. And it was a great, great time to be alive. Now we're in a new time. It's called the turning. I was sharing, we used to think of transformation as we're creating a critical mass of consciousness and allowing more and more people to wake up to the fact that we're all connected. We all have to support each other, be connected as a human family. We all have to wake up, take responsibility, stop being victims. We all have to realize that we're connected not just to other human beings, but to the earth, to Mother Earth, to the animals, to the sky, to the rivers, and realize that, we've got a dream right now, our particular part of the world, the Western world, that's really unsustainable. And the indigenous tribes know that this is an unsustainable world, and they're praying that we wake up out of this trance. And from my point of view, it was like the human potential movement was the beginning of creating that critical mass of consciousness. And now there's enough people that are excited about this and committed to this that we call it the turning. The tide has turned, and we're really going towards a more sustainable way of living. When an ocean, the tide turns in an ocean, it starts at the bottom, and it turns at the bottom, and then the whole ocean follows it. So sometimes you don't see that it's turned, but we really believe it has, and we're just on the way to a whole new world.
We love it. It's great. So in essence, in our lifetime, you've gone from, in essence, a human potential or EST movement to now you're saying a turning. But in even a little couple years ago, you were into The Secret also.
Oh, yes, that was really fun. Well, I was the founder with Jack Canfield, the co-founder, actually. He was the founder, and I just helped him out. He's my great friend, Jack Canfield, who's the co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, and we put together an organization called the Transformational Leadership Council. And our idea was to have a party twice a year and have some friends over and kind of hang out and play. And it's turned into really an amazing resource of energy and people, and some of the top transformational teachers are involved now. And we give speeches, and we assist each other in new ideas, and we partner with each other, and we create joint ventures, and we go river rafting, and we do all sorts of things. And at our third meeting, I got a call from Rhonda Byrne, who is, the executive producer of that movie that everybody knows about now, The Secret. And there was about 40 of us at that time in Transformational Leadership Council. We were just starting off. It was our third meeting, and she had heard about us, and she was looking for teachers to interview for the movie. And she had just gotten the idea to have the movie. It was at the beginning of her process also. And she called me up and she asked me if she could come and interview our group. And of course I called Jack because he's the boss and he's the founder. And he said, no, it would distract us. I thought that was so funny. So I thought about it, and I really felt very deeply about it. And I called him back and I said, I thought we should have the film crew come. And I felt deeply about it. And so he agreed. And Rhonda came and interviewed all of us. And some of us are on the editing floor. Most of us are. But many of us, in fact, most of the people in The Secret are Transformational Leadership Council members. So very proud of what I did to help Rhonda get everybody organized and interviewed. It was a wonderful project, and she's a wonderful person.
And it's done a lot for humanity, because many, many people have read either the book and or seen the movie.
Yes.
Combination of the gigantic law of attraction, right?
Absolutely.
Which has been around a long time.
Yeah. Well, it's something that people like myself in the business of transformation have been teaching for years and years. Personally, I've been teaching it for 35 years. I know Jack's been teaching it for as long. We haven't called it necessarily the law of attraction. We've called it how the mind works, or how you create and manifest in the world, how you create a future, or how you're responsible to bring things into existence. There's a lot of ways of describing how you actually bring things and attract them to you, resources, relationships, situations. And a lot of it has to do with the vibration that you live in on a day-to-day basis, and how much joy you're experiencing and gratitude in your life right now.
Well, you're an earthquake. So this part I understand. All right, the future, what are you up to now?
Right now I'm putting together, for the last 3 years, it's just about ready to roll out a new film company. I'm so excited. It's a transformational film company. It's called World One Media and Management. My partner is very experienced in Hollywood and was responsible for such movies like JFK and The Pelican Brief and Bodyguard and You've Got Mail, and worked as this very senior executive at Warner Brothers for over 20 years. And he and I have decided to start a new paradigm of film companies. It'll be kind of like a movie studio, have a management arm and a production arm and a distribution arm. And we're organizing to film internet television shows, network television shows, make films. Some of our films will go directly to pay-per-view and DVD, and some will be a theatrical release, and DVDs with transformational talent and transformational concepts, and really market to the transformed kind of universe of people that want to find out more about living a more fulfilled life.
You didn't start that Transformers thing, did you?
I'm sorry.
Which has been pretty successful.
Yeah, really. I want that one.
It's all good. So, all right, well, great. And I thought I heard you say that if people do have ideas, you have a wonderful website. Do you share them with you?
Yes, send it to my website, www.marcia-martin.com. All the information of how to get a hold of me is there, and then you can email me or call me.
Okay, Marcia, thank you. I'm so happy we finally meet here in Port Jervis.
I know.
Who would know? With the Huguenots. They're all around us. Okay, thanks so much.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. Have fun.